we've now got a little snippet of it. Well, I say snippet, it's not much, it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a snippet though.
Yeah, so it's half, just over half of an interview I did with Eithne Browne, who you might know from the Theatre Festival last year, and she explains how else you might know her as well. So yeah, we've got a nice little clip from Eithne's interview, and then we've got the longer interview on YouTube as well, and it is live and up there now, so you can see that. So enjoy a little performance as well, a little chat.
You helped me with that. That's a wonderful feeling.
Lovely. And speaking of recognising, so why might people know you other than sort of seeing you at the studio, obviously, and in the theatre? But what sort of roles might people recognise you from?
Well, going back a bit, I was in, I think probably the one most people would know me for would be Brookside. I played Chrissy Rogers in Brookside for 4 years. I was married to Frank. Hey, don't do that, Chrissy. People would recognise him from that. And I had the beautiful Sammy and Katie and Jeff as children. And I saw Jeff recently, and he is now the headmaster of a girls' school down south.
Wow.
Which is very ironic, because in Brookside, he was dyslexic and couldn't read or write. Marvellous. Oh, so I love that. And I still get today. I mean, it was, I think I left in 1990.
Wow. Yeah.
And I will still get, oh, aren't you?
Yeah.
But it's great because you can start conversations with people that you would never have had. And then most recently on telly, I did Emmerdale Farm, and there's a young chap on it with cerebral palsy, and I played his adopted mum. So people will know me. Yeah, he was a charity son.
Yeah.
So gorgeous boy James. And I have to say, the time I spent at Emmerdale, which I think I had about 10 episodes over a year, and I know you have experience of them as well, don't you? Was just lovely. Yeah. It was a great place to work.
Absolutely.
But you know, really welcoming. They want you to do best. So that was nice. And they pay you.
Yeah, always a bonus.
Always a bonus. I love the journey to Leeds. I love being there. But also, if anybody goes to the Royal Court in Liverpool, I've done lots and lots of stuff there. And then obviously Playhouse and you know, and places like that, various theatres. And like a lot of people as well, the odd episode of Doctors.
Oh yeah, I've not done Doctors. I'm yet to do a Doctor.
You'd be perfect.
We were talking before, weren't we, about Brookside and how we wonder why, because I think it's especially now people are kind of wanting some television to watch or some shows to watch, and we all like binge watching. And I say we all, I don't actually like binge watching, but 3 is my limit. But if there was ever a time to bring a show back, it's certainly now, because obviously a lot like Corrie and Emmerdale, there's no film, EastEnders, there's no filming, so they're like dwindling down. I think they should go to like 2 episodes a week forever anyway. I don't really, although I don't want to do myself out of any more episodes as Emmerdale. But I think now would be a good time to bring Brookside back, and there is a guy campaigning for that, isn't there? Ian.
Yeah, there's a lovely guy. I think I've not met him, but obviously know of him, called Ian Phillips, and he's got a big Facebook campaign about about bringing Brookside back. I mean, obviously, if they were to repeat it, that would be great, because you get repeat fees, or you used to. But if they wanted to try and remake it, it would be whether or not the watching public could take it being in a different place.
Yeah.
You know, because those houses are all sold now. There are people actually living in them. So I mean, goodness knows what they had to do to them to repair them to make them livable in. Because what people don't know is, if you opened a wardrobe door, there was no wall. You look through to the bedroom next door, which is where the camera was. You'd take a picture down, and there was a big hole in the wall with the camera looking through you and stuff like that. Because the rooms were so small, they were actual houses.
Yeah.
So, you know, if there was any drama going on and everything, you know, there'd be about 14 people all so I don't know how they go about that. I know they've got still, you know, they've got the Hollyoaks site, so whether or not they could recreate it there. But I can't see people who actually live in the Brookside Close ever giving up or ever wanting people to, you know, I mean, they must have it bad now. Everybody going to have a look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or people still go and get their photographs taken by Brookside Close.
Yeah.
I don't know how they'd go about that if they were to remake it.
No, but bring it. But it's
but
never
if
been.
they wanted to re-show it,
Show it, yeah.
please
I think
do.
yeah, definitely. And it hasn't been. I don't think it ever has been, has it? And I don't think it's accessible anywhere. So Ian, as you say, Ian Phillips has got a petition that's out there. So if anybody wants to sign it to get Brookside shown on the television, especially now, then please do, because I certainly miss a show like that. I think, you know, there was, and I do watch the clips that Ian puts on, and I absolutely love them. And you kind of stare at them because it's gritty, but it's real. It's not the kind of extreme of EastEnders where they hug in 1 minute and then cleavering them to death the next. It's not quite that extreme. It's much more real and genuine, and it's heartbreaking, some of it. It's just, and then hilariously funny as well. So, you know, I do miss.
I think you're right, and I think we can look at it as a piece of Liverpool history. Certainly, if the location's filming, you'd be there going, "Oh, I remember." Where, you know, now it's disappeared and there's a huge block of student accommodation.
Yeah.
You can play that, but also to look at it. I mean, when I was recording Brookside, I was just coming up to 40, so I was in my late 30s. I had the fabulous curly perm, didn't I? And a big pair of glasses. They were like arc welders goggles. I've still got them. I've still got my Chrissy Rogers glasses.
Oh, God.
Everything. But they are so heavy. There's so much glass in them because they were like that. They were like huge. I never wanted to wear glasses.
No.
And it was Phil Redmond who made me wear glasses.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't want to wear glasses. Glasses are Eithne Browne. You know, it's not Chrissy Rogers. And he just went, I want you to, and you've signed a contract. I was like, oh, all right, fair enough. But the first time I got a big bouquet of flowers sent. I got a big bouquet of flowers sent with, you know, love the glasses. Thank you, Phil. So I sent him back a cactus plant and said, please consider contact lenses. Or, yeah, you have to do as you're told.
Oh, yeah. That's how they see the character. So, so fair enough. Yeah. Even though glasses, as you can tell by mine, which I've sliding down, constantly driving me mad, so I need some new ones, are a nightmare to film in. Have you got a couple of pieces you wouldn't mind sharing with us, or giving us a reading through something?
It would be up to you. Something funny, something real, something bit of each, a song. What would you like?
Maybe something funny. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, we like a bit of funny, I think.
There's a couple here. There's you know that one, Purple.
Oh yeah.
Or there is a lovely Victoria Wood one about two girls on a night out.
Oh well, we've got a bit of Victoria Wood, so let's carry on the theme. Let's have a bit more. Yeah.
Which would you like, Victoria?
Oh no, I was going to say whichever. I'm not being very helpful. Sorry.
That's fine. No, Vicky,
I want to see everything.
I've always liked this because you can just imagine these two.
Yeah.
And it's called Saturday Night.
Fabulous.
That's not the one you've got, is it?
Yeah, nope.
Okay. Saturday Night, Victoria Wood. Oh dear, what can the matter be? 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday. Tracy Clegg and Nicola Battersby coming to town double quick. They rendezvous in front of a pillar. Tracy's tall like Jonathan Miller. Nicola's more like Guy the Gorilla, if Guy the Gorilla were thick. The hair's been done, it's very expensive. Their use of mousse and gel is extensive. As weapons, their heads would be classed of offensive and put under some kind of ban. They're covered in perfumes, but these are misnomers. Nicola's scent could send dogs into comas. Tracy's kills insects and dustbin aromas and also gets stains off of fans. But it's their night out. It's what it's all about. Looking for lads, looking for fun. Burger and chips with a sesame bun. They're in the mood for a fabulous interlude. Living it up, painting the town, drinking Bacardi, keeping it down. But it's all right. It's what they do of a Saturday night. Oh dear, what can the matter be? What can that terrible crunching and clatter be? It's the cowboy boots of Nicola Battersby leading the way into town. They hit the pub and Tracy's demeanour reminds you of a loopy hyena. They have 16 gins and a rum and ribena, and this is before they've sat down. They dare a bloke from Surrey called Murray to phone the police and order a curry. He gets locked up, it's a bit of a worry, but they won't have to see him again. They're dressed to kill and looking fantastic. Tracy's gone for rubber and plastic. Nicola's dress is a piece of elastic. It's under a heck of a strain. But it's their night out. It's what it's all about. Ordering drinks, ordering cabs, making rude gestures with doner kebabs. They're in the mood for a fabulous interlude. Weeing in parks, treading on plants, getting their dresses caught up in their pants. And it's all right. It's what they do on a Saturday night. Oh dear, what can the matter be? What can that terrible slurping and splatter be? It's Tracy Clegg and Nicola Battersby snogging with Derek and Kurt. They're well stuck into heavyish petting. It's far too dark to see what you're getting. Tracy's blah fries off, how upsetting, and several people are hurt. With miles to go and no chance of itching, Nicola's boots have been bust at the stitching. Tracy laughs, says, what's the point, bitch? I couldn't give a bugger, could you?
Oh, fantastic. Oh, it's just gorgeous.
What you were wanting?
Oh, I think that was what everybody was wanting on a Saturday night. Thank you. And you know, it would be nice maybe if we bring it to a close with a song.
Okay.
No, not to push you too hard, but you know, it'd be lovely. But
this is just an a cappella one, obviously.
Oh, gorgeous, yeah.
I'm not going to suddenly race and get a guitar and my flute because I can't play. This is one, and I sort of think it's about women, supporting women, and I think I did sing it for you last year, so if we do that one, and it will just be me, so I apologise in advance. Don't stand on another woman's back to get higher in a man's estimation. Don't stand on another woman's back to get higher in a man's estimation. While we're together on this earth, show another woman what she's worth. Don't stand on another woman's back to get higher in a man's estimation. Put your hand down, pull a sister up, have her standing right beside you. I said put your hand down, pull a sister up, have her standing right beside you. Tell a woman you're impressed, that woman's gonna give you her best. Put your hand down, pull a sister up, have her standing right beside you. And don't stand on another woman's back to get higher in a man's estimation.
Oh, beautiful! Thank you. Oh, I was quite moved by that. So I'm trying not to make my face pull, terrible face pull and terrible Gurner. So I'm like, oh,
that was just something that came to me. I had to speak at it was a thing called 100 Women at St George's Hall, and it's sort of, I don't know where it came from. I remember sitting on the bed and sort of the words came to me, and I sort of thought, well, just give it a go. Wrote the words down, sang it. And
gorgeous.
It just stays there then, doesn't it? Hopefully, but that's it. We're always afraid of what people will think of us. We want it to be the best we can be. Sometimes it's not always. We're scared of other people. Who cares? Yeah. That's the wonderful thing about getting older.
Oh, yeah.
I do care. I care about some things more. I want to get things right. I'm not careless about anything. I won't just shift up and do something. I'll prepare. But there are certain things I think, yeah, okay. 65, breathing, walking 186 miles last month. Thank you very much indeed. So I do think we care too much sometimes about how people see us or what people make of us. I wasted far too much time as a young woman, wanting to impress people and or even to leave people with the right impression, or that if they didn't like me, it was a big thing. Half these people you never see again. I've always said, another thing I've always thought of is I worry too much about people who don't worry enough about me. And you can have that one for nothing.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. And I know that people, what they'll be thinking now is how they've really enjoyed this talk with you. So thank you very much for joining us with the prerequisite bookshelves behind you there. You've got to have that.
I didn't even think. No, seriously, I was in the bedroom because it was night. These aren't my books.
We'll be zooming in.
I live upstairs. Come down, so you think I'm an intelligent person.
No, it's lovely. Thank you so much.
All got pictures in.
we enjoy you
Very
and
nice.
the bookshelves.
I am really, yeah. But I am. It's lovely to be asked to do something like this again.
Always.
My promise to the studio is ever I can do anything,
we will. We all always want you there. So thank you so much, Eithne Browne. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Not at all. Thank you.
Stay well, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, there we go. That took you. That was quite stressful for you today, wasn't it? Getting that over.
It didn't want to send. It wanted to be a massive file, even though I'd made it the smallest possible. But because we had 2 hours free, and it thought, well,
it's all right.
You sorted. So no, I'll just make it really difficult and only get it to Meg at 7:05 or something.
So, yeah. I expect nothing less.
That's theatre for you, keeping it live, keeping it risky. But you can see more from Eithne Browne on the YouTube, which is the Studio Loose. If you can subscribe, that'd be amazing. We've got loads of stuff on there that you can get involved in. Puppet theatre from today from Georgina. Who doesn't need a puppet theatre? I don't know anybody that doesn't need a puppet theatre.
Get making yours, Louise. I'm sure you've got some cereal boxes around.
Do you know I've gone off the cornflakes since I've
all the toast, is it?
Bread. Anyway, don't we get sidetracked.
Anyway,
to my eating habits. We've got another interview coming up now, and again, the longer version of this is on YouTube already. It's premiered this evening, so you can have a look at it. And it's with my, I wouldn't say old tutor, but I meant from way back. My tutor, Jacqueline Pilton, from Halton College, when it was called Halton College. So back in 89, 90, something like that, was when Jacqueline, or Jackie, as a lot of you will know her, but she's an actor and theatre, TV, you might know her from both of those. You might recognise her. She gets recognised quite a lot. And we've got a nice little, the full whack. It's a good one. Good Q&A. Well, it's kind of both of us. She wanted to talk about the stuff we'd done together as well, so that's nice, because actually it was something we probably wouldn't do. Don't do a lot of reminiscing or anything like that. Looking back, we're always moving forward, aren't we? So
yes.
like we are at the studio next. So me and Jackie are like that as well. So we've got a little clip of that, and then as I say, you can look and watch the longer version at your leisure on YouTube. So here is a little chat with Jacqueline Pilton. So I am now joined by Jacqueline Pilton, and we're going to have a little chat about how we know each other and the things that we've done theatre-wise, and maybe a few other things will creep in as well. So Jackie, welcome to the Studio Theatre Festival. What brings us together, and how do we know each other?
Oh, well, thanks for inviting me to this chat for the Theatre Festival. Lovely. Well, you and I, Louise, have known each other quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Though there's been bits of gaps in our knowledge of each other. I first met you when you were 16, I think. Is that right?
16, yeah.
16. When I used to teach at Halton College, teach drama. I think you were doing GCSE drama. And we did loads of improvised productions and things, I think, for the exam, didn't we?
Yeah, because at first I was doing A-levels, and I did like A-level theatre studies like in a year, which didn't go down very well. And then
pretty academic and
and then I think we realised during that it was more the practical side of it that I was interested in. So then I retook GCSE and got a better grade with you. And so I think a lot of the improvisation stuff was during that GCSE period. So it was actually 2 years that I was with you, but for 2 different type of exams.
Yeah.
Working backwards, strangely.
Yeah. And and it was enjoyable teaching you, but I didn't think, wow, this is a wonderful a potential actress. But I did later. But at the time, you were hiding your light under a bushel.
Yes, not known for my subtlety now.
Yeah. And then, well, do you want to carry on, or shall I?
Well, I mean, at the end of that kind of period, we performed together for the first time, really, didn't we? And that's when things sort of changed. So you were my tutor, and I always say in more than just theatre studies, because what do I always say, Jackie? You taught me how to swear.
Oh yes, that's right. I forget.
That was essential. A-star
I
student.
well forget that. Or worse.
And I thank you for that. It's been useful.
Teach Louise how to swear.
But after that, you went off to become a professional actor. But you were also running Concrete Theatre at the time, weren't you?
Yeah, it was 1990, I think I first gave up teaching.
Right.
I had a year off college, then I came back for a bit, and then I gave up completely in 1993 in teaching at the college to be a full-time actor. Not that any actor ever is full-time,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's full-time. And I'd kind of resurrected the old Concrete Theatre, which I'd run back in the 70s and early 80s. And I started it up again with some new people in it. And we did a production of Day in the Death of Joe Egg. Mm-hmm. Now, which, as people will know, involves a child, well, a young person, probably of about 12, who has a physical and mental handicap, probably has cerebral palsy and all sorts of different things, and has fits and everything. And she's a central part of the story, and she sits in her wheelchair and has the fits occasionally, and that's pretty much all she does. And we'd had somebody else playing the part for a while, and then the other person couldn't do it, and we toured with it, went here, there and everywhere, went to the Green Room in Manchester with it and so on. But anyway, I needed somebody else to do the girl, Jo. And I asked Louise in. Well, we had the rehearsal. And I was gobsmacked. You did enough barking.
I know, sorry, my dog has decided to bark now, just at this moment.
Well, I was gobsmacked, because what a performance. I thought, I didn't know Louise was as brilliant as that. Mm-hmm. I thought she's been watching, you know, videos of people having epileptic fits or something. She was wonderful. Fantastic piece of physical theatre.
Well, so thank you for giving me the opportunity. And yeah,
it was interesting. Yeah,
and I think that was a good moment, because it is opportunities like that actually, if that hadn't have happened, if you hadn't have asked me to do that and do the show with you, then potentially I wouldn't have gone into acting. I think, you know, it's kind of one of those moments, isn't it, that someone asks you to do something and then you start thinking about it in a different way. I could have easily have just gone, oh well, that's that, I've done A-levels, I've done GCSE again, I'll just go and do a job or whatever. But I think that was probably, without realizing it at the time, you know, an important kind of moment.
Yeah. And then you went on to drama school, didn't you, not long after that?
Yeah, so I had
drama school.
No, I had a year out then and did more theatre in the community and with minimum wage. Who some of the members of minimum wage were in Concrete Theatre, or in that show anyway.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And then I did some stuff with them for about a year, and during that year, then I got into National Youth Theatre and got into the Arden School of Theatre. So there was like a year. So I had a year, you had a year out, and then while I was going to drama school and all that kind of thing, you were out there acting as a professional actor for the first time, really, weren't you?
Yes, that's right. I had oh gosh, can't remember what the play was called now. I was in a touring company anyway. Oh, I know what it was. It was Gaslight.
Oh yeah.
Gaslighting, in fact. Words really passed into the
I know
now. And I was playing plump but amiable Elizabeth. It was the maid of whatever he was called, I can't remember. It was a nasty gaslighting man. And we went on tour all over the country with that. And this was in my year off, my sabbatical year. They kindly at college let me have a year off with no pay, but somehow I managed that. And I got a little bit of pay from this touring company, not a lot. And we did that. And it was amazing because I was thinking, wow, I'm acting. I'm not teaching, I'm acting. And I did that for quite a while. And then did one or two other things. And joined up with Mary Laurie, who you know, of course.
Yeah.
Who was an actress, visual artist, generally very artistic, wonderful person. She and I together developed and then produced and performed a play called Wide Nose. I think that was during that period, which was about the history of witness, really. And it was a two-hander play. We played all the characters and everything, and we toured it round mostly to people in residential homes, old people and so forth, but in the public performances too. We got some funding for that from the Arts Association in Holton, as was the name of which can't remember now. Holton Arts or something.
Yeah, before the kind of arts development came, it was early on.
Yeah. We did that, and I got this year off, and then I knew I had to either go back and pay back the money I borrowed to have a year off on nothing, or not, or starve or something. So I went back for about 3 months, but things turned out that I could just about afford to give up the teaching and chance it. So I gave up the teaching and moved to London. I'm coming back to you in a minute, Louise, because you fit in a minute.
That's all right.
Oh, you want to tell me what you were doing at that point?
No, I was just at drama school and all that kind of thing, really, for the next 3 years. So that was kind of me head down, focusing on that, living at home, commuting to Manchester every day, and being obsessed about drama school. So I did not much else happened for me because I was obsessed with that. So
but you were learning a lot and meeting some good people, weren't you? And
it was amazing. Yeah,
developing your skills. And
definitely.
And I went off to London, did a tour of She Stoops to Conquer, playing Mrs. Hardcastle, the rather posh but very northern she was. Thought she was a lovely, wore a very big hat. Yes, and we did that outdoors in front of stately homes in good weather, apart from once when it pissed down and I got absolutely drenched. The audience were all right under umbrellas. I did that, and then I met a lady called Penny Black, and she translated plays from German. She lived in Austria and translated German Austrian plays into English. Can you still hear me? Because I'm getting a strange.
Yeah, it's just breaking up a little bit, but it's coming through. Yeah,
right. So I was in one of her plays called Slaughtering the Pig, which was kind of a metaphor for the rise of the Nazis. It was about a family who were horrible, really. Then she said to me one night at the end of the run of that, I've got a wonderful play that I've translated, and it's about a woman who was a follower of Hitler. You know, these women you see on the newsreels throwing flowers at him and all this sort of thing, and adoring him. And it's about her telling her story. I said, oh. She said, yes, you could play that. So to cut a long story short,
That That was an abrupt ending, Louise.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't ready for when that was going to end then.
No, I should have warned you about that. But yeah, I thought that was a very good place to end.
To cut a long story short.
Yeah.
And
it is 1 hour 27. So if you do want to watch the long story and find out a little bit more about Jacqueline, then please do visit the YouTube channel, and I've just tweeted that link to the interview for her and the one for Eithne as well. So you've got direct links there on Twitter. We've got a piece coming up now. Oh yeah, and I should say that at this point, the language might become a little bit older. It is
it's getting a bit fruitier now.
Yeah, and as you know, as we talk about Jackie teaching me how to swear at college. Not she didn't know she was doing it, but I always say that's where I learned. And she did do a little swearing there for us. So it's not, there's no gratuitousness. So some perhaps, you know, a little bit more adult, a little bit. But not yet, because this next piece is a little teenage. So we're moving into the adulthood through teenage years. And this is a piece from Woollywood Theatre that perform and rehearse at the studio. And there's a little clip, and then we've also got just a little piece to read out from Iona, who is part of Woollywood, who has recently been taken ill, so couldn't kind of record this for herself, but we're just going to read a little short bit of it, and then we'll post the full statement from Iona on Twitter and Instagram as well. So DNA is a teen play written by Dennis Kelly. A group of teenagers do something bad, really bad, then panic and cover the whole thing up. But when they find that their cover-up unites them and brings harmony to the one fractious lives, where is the incentive to put things right? So it then goes on to talk about how DNA, the journey of DNA, the play with them, began in December of 2019 with auditions and castings, and talks about the rehearsals. And then it says, after every scene, it led to an in-depth discussion. This helped the development of characters as other people got the chance to express what they thought another person's character was feeling during that scene, or how another person's character helped shape theirs. Sherry had planned on us entering the drama festival at the studio, but unfortunately, due to the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic, it was cancelled. The plan now is to come back together after this lockdown has been lifted and rehearse it like before and perform it at the studio. After we are finished with DNA, we are hoping to begin working towards a production of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Ooh, one of my favourites. Hope you're doing that at the studio. Oh, yes, that's exciting. I'm sure we've probably got a wardrobe or two that you could probably use. Oh, so we will post the full statement. So thank you to Iona for that, and get well soon from all of us. So we've got a little clip now from Woollywood.
Hello there, my name's Eve, and I'm going to be playing Leah from the play DNA, and the monologue is taken from the end of Act 1. Apparently, bonobos are our nearest relative. For years, people have been saying it's chimps, but they're not. They're completely different. Chimps are evil. Did you know that? Chimps torture each other, all to find a better position within the social structure. For centuries, people have thought that chimps are our closest living relative, but now they're saying it's bonobos. Bonobos are the complete opposite of chimps. If a stranger bonobo approaches the pack, the other bonobos all come out and say, "Hello, mate. What are you doing round here? Come on and meet the family. We can eat some ants." And if a bonobo damages its hand, whereas chimps would probably cast it out or bite its head off, the bonobos will crowd around it and all look sad because there's a bonobo feeling pain. Such sadness in those intelligent eyes. Empathy. That's what bonobos have. I mean, it's amazing really, but the woman was saying that if we'd discovered bonobos before chimps, our understanding of ourselves would have been very different.
So there you go, that was just a little excerpt there of DNA.
Yeah, so we've got some clips obviously that are from published plays that people are working on, or little extracts, and everybody that's took part in this has done it without payment, so there's nobody actually making money from any of this. So there's, you know, that's why we're kind of sharing the work that they've done in terms of promotion for them in the future, and kind of looking at what's inspired them, and in some cases what's inspired them to write themselves. Next coming up, we've got Georgina Ridehalgh, and Georgina we first saw perform in our Woollywood Theatre show. So it was this show, in fact, and it was a joint with another theatre festival, theatre company. What were they called? I can't remember what it's called. It's like something positive. Ding! I can't remember. I should have remembered that. It's just coming to my mind. I'll see if I remember it. And that production of Two by Jim Cartwright. So Georgina has recorded a piece from that for the festival. So another chance if you did see it before. If not, it's a little treat, because Georgina is known for her artwork, not her acting. But we think it could have gone either way for her. There's still time.
Music as well.
Oh yeah, and music, yeah. There's no stopping her. She's even got her own shed.
Should we go to Georgina then?
Let's watch Georgina.
At the end of the day, taking my reward from the class. He's at home. He can't come out, dear. He's too crippled. But he allows me out at the end of the day for me drink. I'm retired now. Won't think so. I'm working twice as hard lifting his shitty bum off the sheets. He's having all the last bit of my life. But I don't begrudge him that, the poor man he is. There he is at home with his pint of dandelion and burdock, watching television in the dark. All I do is look after him now and shop a lot. Shop a lot with now. Although I do like to go shopping, like the butcher's best. Blood everywhere, laughing his bloody head off he is. He's fat too. Fat like jelly pork and pink. I love him, though he doesn't know, of course. It's his laughing that does it, and his big butcher's knife. Chopping and flipping those animals open. Oh, me myself, I don't have much strength left in my arms now. Carrying my husband downstairs. I have to stop 3 times, my arms keep giving. Let's have a breather, I say. And we both stop panting like knackered cattle. I watch his chest going like the clappers, and then watch me all doing exactly the same. Oh. And all our wheezing echoing off the staircase. What with me weak ankles and him with his watery eyes, I wonder in God's starry heavens why we keep going. But today we have each other. And we have the allowance. And there's memories somewhere. And I get my comfort in sleep and me Guinness. What the hell's it all been about? I carry him down, carry him up, piss all over my hands. His day's telly box, my day's shopping pop. Round to the butcher's for a bit of scrag. Watching him carve open those animals with his big sharp knife. Admirable. His days, me days. Me day, me life, me days. I can hear his old chest creaking from here. He's at home with the telly, in the burdock dog, dead dandelion hanging out of his mouth. Oh. And his arms, his chicken arms, around me neck, his chicken arms. Oh. Fetch me a Guinness, stand me a drink. No, fetch the butcher. with his slaughtering kit. And may I ask you all now to raise your cleavers and finish the job. Raise them for all the bewildered and pig-weary couples that have stuck together. Thank you.
Stuff from Georgina.
Really lovely to see Georgina acting again, and she was in Metronomes, of course, so we will get her back acting, but she likes it or not, as they always say to her, but I think she does like it, and she's very good. So next we've got John Bostock, and John was into with Georgina, so it was kind of the first time I think we'd seen both of them perform, and then they both went on to do Metronomes and other things. So this is something John's put together himself, and then you'll see him later on, well, just very soon after, straight away, with another one. So here's a lesson from John Bostock.
Please, be seated. And on the third day, there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee. And it came to pass that all the wine was drunk. And the mother of the bride came to Jesus and said unto the Lord, They have no more wine. And Jesus said unto the servants, Fill 6 water pots with the water. And they did so. And when the stewards of the feast did taste the water from the pots, it had become wine. And they knew not whence it had come. But the servants did know. So they applauded loudly in the kitchen, and they said unto the Lord, How the hell did you do that? And inquired of him, Do you do children's parties? And the Lord said, No. But the servants did press him, saying, Go on, give us another one. So he brought forth a carrot, and said, Behold this, for it is a carrot. And all about him knew that it was so, for it was orange with a green top. And he did place a large red cloth over the carrot, and then remove it. And lo, he held in his hand a white rabbit. And all were amazed and said, This guy is really good. He should turn professional. And they brought him a man on a stretcher who was sick of the palsy, and cried unto him, Maestro, this man is sick of the palsy. And the Lord said, If I had to spend my whole life on a stretcher, I'd be pretty sick of the palsy too. They filled with joy and cried out, Lord, thy one-liners are as good as thy tricks. Thou art indeed an all-round family entertainer. And there came unto him a woman called Mary, who had seen the Lord and believed. And Jesus said unto her, Put on a tutu and lie down in this box. And then took forth a saw and cleft her in twain. There was much wailing and gnashing of teeth. But Jesus said, O ye of little faith. And he threw open the box, and lo, Mary was whole. And the crowd went absolutely bananas. And Jesus and Mary took a big bow, and he said unto her, From now on you shall be known as Sharon, for that is a good name for an assistant. And the people said unto him, We've never seen anything like this. You shouldn't really be wasting your time in a one-camel town like Cana. You should be playing in the big arenas in Jerusalem. And Jesus did hearken to the words, and he did go on to Jerusalem. And he did his full act before the scribes the Palestinians and the Romans. But alas, it did not please them in their heart. In fact, they absolutely crucified him. End of the lesson.
Yeah, a little lesson from our studio associate, John Bostock.
Yes, and now you're going to see him alongside another associate, Keith Fielding, and then Keith will be giving us another little piece a little bit later on, a little bit more spooky, as we get to the wee hours. In about that.
Wee hours? Hey up!
Do you know it's an all-nighter, by the way?
Oh dear. No.
It isn't. Just kidding. No. Yeah, so now we've got John being joined by Keith Fielding, and it's the argument.
Is this the right room for the argument?
I've told you once.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
When?
Just now.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
I'm telling you, I did.
You did not.
I'm sorry, is this the 5-minute argument or the full half hour?
Just the 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes? Thank you. Anyway, I did.
You most certainly did not.
Now, let's get one thing clear. I absolutely did tell you.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Look, this isn't an argument.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. It's just a contradiction.
No, it isn't.
It is.
No, it isn't.
You've just contradicted me.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, no, no.
You just did then.
Nonsense.
This is futile.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. I came here for a good argument.
Oh, no, you didn't. You came here for an argument.
An argument isn't just a contradiction.
Well, it can be.
No, it can't. An argument is a connected series of statements intended to establish a proposition.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. It isn't just a contradiction.
Look, if I argue, must take up a contrary position.
Yes, but it isn't just saying, no, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. Argument is an intellectual process. Contradiction is just the automatic gainsaying of anything the other person says.
No, it's not.
It is.
Not at all.
It is.
That's it.
What?
Thank you. That's it.
But I was just getting interested.
I'm sorry, but that's your 5 minutes is up.
That was never 5 minutes just now.
I'm afraid it was.
No, it wasn't.
I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to argue anymore.
What?
If you want me to carry on arguing, you'll have to pay me another 5 minutes.
But that was never 5 minutes just now. I mean, oh, come on. This is ridiculous.
I've told you. I'm not allowed to argue unless you pay.
Oh, well, all right then. There you are.
Thank you.
Well,
Well, what?
that was never 5 minutes just now.
I told you I'm not allowed to argue unless you've paid.
Well, I've just paid.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
Oh, I don't want to argue about it.
Well, I'm very sorry, but you didn't pay.
Well, if I didn't pay, why are you arguing? Got you.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. If you're arguing, I must have paid.
Not necessary. I could be arguing in my spare time.
Oh, I've had enough of this.
No, you haven't.
Well, shut up.
Great to see those pair working together again, because they were on the theatre festival last year.
They were, yeah.
A duo. So that's obviously a tradition. So same time next year. Keep it up, keep writing, and keep using these creative methods. Good to have shares in Zoom, which I don't. Never mind. Next up is really the last of the interviews. I think from there it's more or less kind of clips and little bits of film footage as well. And we're going to show a film as well a bit later on. Short little film. So this is an interview with Dawn Buchanan, who was part of the Theatre Festival last year. And one of the things that, we wanted Dawn to be part of it again, and Julie, who's coming up after her, they were both part of it because they performed at the studio in 1995 with me before we went to Edinburgh Fringe, just after we left drama school. So it felt right to sort of kind of bring those links back to theatre from yesteryear in the studio. It's not that long ago, is it?
Yes.
25 years. 25 years. Whoa. Well, Anyway. So, so it's great to have Dawn and Julie with us. And for Dawn, we wanted to talk a little bit about writing and inspiring, where your inspiration for writing comes from, where you kind of what you hear when you're younger, maybe what influences the way that you write. And also we talked about how supporting each other is really important. She has a friend who's a writer, and they help her by reading her stuff, she reads their stuff, and that kind of, when you find that that kind of partnership, a bit like Keith and John, when you find that partnership that really works for you and helps you develop your work, then that's absolutely brilliant. And if people can still keep doing this via this medium, then that's all the better for it. So keep supporting each other out there and helping each other, and making sure that we're only wanting the best for each other. And that's kind of what Dawn and I talked about when we did this little interview earlier on in the week. So this is Dawn Buchanan. So I'm glad to say I'm now joined by Dawn Buchanan, who is a good friend of mine and colleague from theatre productions and from college as well. That's when we first met. And Dawn, you took part in our theatre festival last year, didn't you?
I did. It's marvellous.
We wanted you to be back again.
Yes. Well, it's 25 years, isn't it, since we went to Edinburgh Fringe?
Yeah, this year. So, 25 years ago, we were at the studio performing our show that we were taking to Edinburgh Fringe after leaving drama school. So the link to witness, Dawn, you will never be able to cut that link, I'm afraid. You've got it.
No. Well, and actually, the writer that I've chosen to talk about a little bit and do a bit of her work, she referenced witness as a, because it is quite a comedy word.
I know.
And also where I'm from, Cheadle Hume. She cut the Hume off because Cheadle's on its own is funnier. But and actually, my laptop is on a trolley. So that might give you some clues there.
It definitely does. Is it on the trolley? Can you see? Brilliant. Yes. So we thought it'd be nice to, as much as we can't do the theatre festival as we would and as we had planned, because this year it was going to be over 3 days and all sorts. But as you know, we thought we needed to be able to represent the theatre festival somehow, so we've gone with this way. But it kind of gives us an opportunity to talk about things that perhaps we wouldn't do, because we would be just looking at the unique performances that people were creating for the event. But we've been able to reflect a little bit more and maybe look back on why people got into acting or theatre and what they like about it. So with yourself, we kind of decided to have a look at what inspired you in the first place, and what writing has inspired you to train and then also become a writer of theatre as well yourself, which perhaps you didn't know that was going to happen. I don't know.
Well, I'm trying. Oh, you put me on the spot now. I'm like, oh, I just wanted to make people laugh. That's the thing. That is what I remember, wanted to make people laugh. And I think that the thing for me that I'm trying to get rid of, or no, put it another way, I'm trying to recapture how I felt when I was small, really small. And I was just trying to do that, and I didn't have any thinking, oh no, it's rubbish, or oh, I'm feeling worried about it. It was just pure joy, and I'm trying to get that back, because I know that that's what, when I feel confident, when it's at full flow, I get that joy, and I think that's what it is. That's why, because everybody says it, don't they? That they're waiting to go on, and they go, what? Why? Yeah, why have I done that? What? Why? So we've talked about this. Said it, coming back to where getting back to that childlike something where it is just all fun and enjoyment. Absolutely. And getting rid of anything else, that any anxiety or anything like that. So
because that is when you give your best. When you're happy and enjoying it, the audience absolutely adore it, don't they? Even when things go wrong. If you accept it and you're kind of loving the moment, then they love it too.
It's pure confidence, isn't it? That's what it is. Pure self-belief, which is what you need.
And knowing that you should be there doing it.
Yes. Yes.
And speaking of which, you've got a couple of pieces that you're going to share with us. So what have you chosen as your kind of piece to inspire?
So this is called Dottie's Slot. So I've mentioned Victoria Ward, and you can just tell from the title it sounds a bit rude and it's not funny, how I always like my writing to be. So this was a series, Wood and Walters. So it was broadcast in 1982 when I was 16. And my brother and sister and I, we loved it. We loved it so much. We used to audio record it, and particularly Dottie. And I would learn it, but it was more repeating certain phrases that, page boy haircuts. And the number of times I must have said this, and my poor mum went, oh no. and that is something that I've always done, because it just gives me, just even seeing the words written down, great. Saying them, even better. Just a certain joy, how they feel in your mouth, just saying it, just a complete joy, and also a bit, I think, of a release. So I think it's a release for me. Yes. I've just saying to you before, when I was once researching something, I came across it was a neurosurgeon he was, and he had Tourette's, and it was like a verbal tic, but not when he was doing the surgery. So we had a list of words on his fridge to make him feel good, that he just said. Phrases like hooty hoo, that, it's like, what? In the bear hunt. But it made me feel better, because I read this and I thought, so this is actually a thing. So I think it might be a bit of a thing with me, but I just embrace it and enjoy, just take the pleasure from those words.
Amazing. And I think that's certainly something we were saying, that people are aware of at the moment during this pandemic, is that a lot more people are able to have time to self-reflect and look at the behaviours and look at what they need from other people and what they need from the things that they surround themselves normally with. So I think that'll probably resonate with a lot of people, that actually to find something that makes you feel comfortable, confident, and who you are, then I think that is something to hold on to, and perhaps we might have originally thought that was a bit of a strange thing, but actually I think finding those things is very helpful, and shouldn't be let go of. So keep doing it.
I think people who love you accept it, and they join in, don't they? I mean, my friend Joyce said, I've got a good word for you, Dawn, banjaxed. And I use that all the time, just to cheer myself up, put it in, cheer myself up, Yeah. So that's, So it's a comfort, it's a release, it's a joy. That's what it is.
Gorgeous. Well, when you're ready, give us some of your Victoria Wood and Dottie's Slot.
So, Dottie's Slot. Good evening. I was toddling down to the makeup room a little earlier on. Now, naturally, I do it myself before I leave the crescent, but I needed the neon to pluck my stragglers. Anyway, I came round the corner and saw the producer, as he likes to be called, lurching towards me. Now, I don't know him terribly well because he doesn't normally come in of a Sunday. Well, after a week's heavy drinking and sexual harassment, he needs a quiet day off, you know. Anyway, he stumbled up to me, the fumes from his car coat. No, honestly, it wasn't so much a garment, more of a humane killer. What? Oh, don't be so silly. I can say what I like. He doesn't know which studio we're in. Anyway, Mrs. Chubb, he said. Call me Dotty, I cried, and we're not speaking, hitting him with a grow bag I'd brought in for one of the girls. He said, for this week's show, why don't we get a bit physical? I said, let me make it quite clear. There has never been so much as a whiff of scandal attached to my slot. I said, you producers know nothing. And while we're on the subject, was it strictly necessary to get rid of Rennie Roberts? I saw red. I hope it was his nose. I was fuming. I poked him in the face with the fire extinguisher. Yes, it was a bit of an undignified scuffle. He was screaming for help while I was stamping on his fingers. A little something I picked up in the Land Army. Anyway, just before he passed out, and honestly, what kind of man is it that can't take having his trousers set alight without becoming unconscious? No sense of humour. Anyway, just as they were closing the ambulance doors, he said, Dotty, well, it's more of a croak actually. I said, oh, I'm glad to see you've dropped the Mrs. Chubb. He said, well, yes. He said, when I said physical, I meant, why don't you do something medical? I said, well, why didn't you say, you soft ape-earth? So here we have it, Dotty's body in question. All those things Jonathan Miller didn't think to ask. For instance, why is it that the fluff in your navel button never matches your cardi? Page boy haircuts, can they cause depression in other people? Impotence, is it a lot of fuss about nothing? Nagumba writes, Dotty, can flatulence damage your health? Well, no dear, no, but it can fade. And Leslie wishes to know, Dotty, is orgasm a myth? Well, Leslie, I've never had one. And to be quite honest, I don't know anybody else who has. Personally, I like to finish a bout of intercourse with a cup of Benjers and an Eccles cake. What? Oh, it seems it's time to go. All right, waving his arms about. All right. Goodness me, they do take things seriously here at Granada, don't they? Anyway, it's all right because I've got that other letter I must finish reading from that lady, complaining about her husband's mini piano. Or was it his tiny organ? Good evening. So that is...
That's brilliant. I was really trying not to... I'm like, I don't know what my face was doing during that, but it's making me laugh. It's fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. And something that we've talked about stuff you've done in the past as well is the kind of impressions and stuff like that. That, you know, that was a big part of you starting out and kind of finding your voice, really.
That was, and that's what I wrote about that in Other People's Shoes, because like I was saying, when I was too, well, I'll tell you in a minute. But I did that just, and so that was, so sometimes things are, you know, I say that lovely writing Victoria was just brilliant. You know, the brilliant performance of Julie Walters coupled with the use of words, just really amazing. But I think it was just something that's in me. It's just there. It isn't. It's something without thinking about it. I just did it, and that's what I'm saying. I want to get back to that state without thinking about it. Just going. I can do this. Oh, this is something nice.
Another piece from yourself, Dawn. From if you want to tell us what this is and what.
So the show was called Other People's Shoes, and it was written by me. I was doing lots of work at the time, doing living history workshops in schools, and one day I had to make the entrance out of a cupboard. I had a lot of ridiculous places, but on that day I was just like, oh, come on. So I thought, I've got to write this, and now, as I still do now, I was thinking, how did I get here? What have I done with my life? So it's about that, and about all right, let's take it right back, you know. And so it was based on a lot of it, and a lot of it, some of it seems ridiculous, is actually absolutely true. You have to change a lot of it, really.
Often the way, yeah.
But, yeah, so that this is what this is, and this is a little bit about what we're talking about where that comes from, and also my thing about impersonation.
Okay, thank you.
So. Some people say people who want to act are trying to escape themselves. Maybe they're right. If so, I've been doing it from a very early age. I'm told that at 2 I used to bend my back and hobble round and call myself Old Mother Leslie. Leslie being my middle name. I can't remember that. I can remember wanting to make people laugh. I don't know why. The head of my old drama school used to call it the acting impulse. And I think that's accurate because it implies something that you can't control. Of course, a lot of people think it's just self-indulgence, or they say, well, you've chosen the hardest profession in the world. But that's the strange thing. You don't choose it. It chooses you. Some people view it as a disease. One ashen mother telling me her daughter wants to be an actress. It seems this is on a par with drug taking. Actually, the two do have a lot in common. A high that doesn't last and a bad effect on your bank balance. Most other jobs, you climb a metaphorical ladder, unless you happen to be a window cleaner and do it for real. But the acting profession's more like snakes and ladders, or snakes and snakes, in my case. The day I left school, someone said, see you on the telly with Mike Yarwood. Oh, for any under 50, he was the 1970s equivalent of Alistair McGowan, Dead Ringers. I used to have a list of all my impressions. I remember my sister taking the mickey out of my note to practice Wurzel. Gummidge. I never was mainstream even then. My sister may have thought it was funny, but to me, it was no laughing matter. I had to make sure they were all up to scratch. I always had this fear that one day I would open my mouth and sound nothing at all like whoever it was. Perhaps that stems from the time my dad mistook my David Bellamy for my Dame Edna Everage. And then, of course, there's all those people with indistinct voices. Why is it they're always the ones who are asking, can you do me? Go on, do me, do me. And then at the other end of the scale, you've got those people who are an absolute gift, who don't recognise themselves even when you do it right in front of them. My old maths teacher, for example. Dead ringer for Heidi High's Sue Pollard, only with a homework fixation. It was the last day of school. I had nothing to lose. Right, class, homework's been cancelled. I don't sound like that, do I? Do I? Yes, the voices have come in handy over the years. Sometimes, though, you just don't feel in the mood. I can remember being 19 and madly in love with someone who appreciated my vocal talents, but was oblivious to anything else I had to offer. His girlfriend was particularly enthusiastic. That's brilliant, can you do me? I used the remedy I often used in those days. Dry white wine. 10 glasses. I just couldn't seem to get drunk that night. Eventually a friend bought me a brandy and Babycham. I blacked out in the car park. Broken heart and fear of failure, both a blur. Until the next time. So that's that.
Fabulous, gorgeous. Oh, it's brilliant. It's so lovely to watch. It feels, I don't know, it's like we've invented a whole new medium of doing like this, having this performer perform to you. It's lovely. It's very good. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to doing small audiences, as you know, at Edinburgh Fringe. The one man and his dog.
I did have a dog earlier, yeah. So thank you very much, Dawn Buchanan, for sharing the words of Victoria Wood and Dawn Buchanan in the piece that you chose, the two pieces you chose for us today. And no doubt you'll be getting contacted by me to start planning the Theatre Festival 2021 if we don't have a chance to fit one in before then. But thank you very much for performing for us tonight.
It's been an absolute pleasure, as always.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Is this a good time to do my Bond villain impression?
I was thinking that the whole time.
Yeah, I thought you were. You Bond villains have dogs.
They can now.
They might have now.
Yes.
Well, so thank you to Dawn for giving me that brilliant insight into in what's inspired her, and then also some of the writing that she's done.